JD. When I was 16, my whole world was turned upside down. I made one of the most horrific decisions in my life, and it cost me. I was charged with first-degree murder, armed robbery with a firearm, and sentenced to 2 natural life terms in prison without the possibility of parole. And I've served 31 years in prison. And my life has been a disaster. What's up, world? It's JD again, here on Redemption Kings, a real prison story. Yeah, you know, I've been in prison for 31 years. I'm free now. Overcame 2 natural life sentences without the possibility of parole. And I think I got a little knowledge about prison, what goes on in there, because I've been there all my life. The majority of my teens, all my 20s, all my 30s, and over all my 40s, I've been in prison, you know? And my decisions and my choices led me to these places. But in the beginning, I didn't think that, you know, but we are the sum of our experiences and the choices that we make every day. You know, so in this episode, I want y'all to understand that, you know, the man that I am right now, and the men and women that some of you are right now, is because the choices and experiences that you had in the past. And the only way to overcome those things is to understand the true definition of who you are. You know? That's the only way to understand that. And, you know, sometimes I will reflect back to some things in my past in prison that's going to show you or tell you the wild now. Like Chili Mack. A lot of y'all don't know who Chili Mack is or was, but Chili Mack was. Chili Mack was the realest, man. You know, Chili Mack taught me a lot of things. And the one thing that Chili Mack taught me the most was, you know, it's 2 parts of us. And, you know, coming up through prison, especially across city, you know, this was made known and aware to me a little more. What I mean by 2 parts is that, you know, you got me on the outside that's looking at you in this camera right now. And then you got the part of me that when me on the outside is in the bed sleeping with his eyes closed and resting, this part on the inside of me is scheming, coming up with the next thing, thinking about where I'm gonna put myself in the future, thinking about past things. This entity that's with me when I'm asleep is another part of me. It's the part of me that thinks every day, that makes this flesh move. You know what I'm saying? Now, if this part of me don't got no strength and ain't mature, then I'm gonna be really in bad shape and my life gonna fold like napkins. Yeah. See, I can look like a man on the outside. You know, I'm bald, you know, and I'm a good bald, yeah. You know, but if I even had hair, wigs, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, I'm still nothing without the real me on the inside being the strong part of me. You know, I had to grow up on the inside, not on just the outside, but on the inside too. And in Cross City, I grew up on the inside. I started doing what I say I'm gonna do. I started, becoming the man that I wanted to become. And I didn't care who liked it or didn't like it. Yeah, I didn't. I wanted to change, man. I wanted to see something different. I was in prison with all this time, and I'm seeing the same things over and over again. I'm seeing the same things in Cross City over and over again. I seen some of my closest friends kill themselves. I see some of my closest friends go the other way. I seen some people that I looked up to when I first came into the chain gang that I shook my head at when I walked past them. Yeah. JD seen that. And it let me know that it's a real thing about this thing on the inside of me that wanted better. And I used to ask myself, I used to be like, man, it's got to be more than this. I ain't no dumb individual. I see what's going on around here. But no matter how I change, nothing gonna change my life. You know why? Because I made the decisions to come here. I made the decisions that brought these 2 natural life sentences to me. How I'm gonna change that? That's judgment. But the only thing that can triumph over judgment is mercy. Now, I had so much mercy in the chain gang. I had so much mercy. I remember at Cross City, I was in a computer class. And in this computer class, we had some dudes in there that wasn't or shouldn't been a part of what we had going on. They shouldn't have been in there, period. And these dudes went to taking advantage of what we had going on. And it brought some real throwdown upon us and caused some real riffs and rafts. And I was caught up in the riffs and rafts. Unbeknownst to myself, I was caught up in them. Have you ever been caught up in somebody else's mess? And you trying to find a way to grab onto something to stabilize yourself? Yeah, that was me. Caught up in somebody else's mess. Trying to stabilize myself. And I couldn't. The only thing that I could depend on was faith. So I believe that you're going to help me. Please help me. And I was helped. I was helped. That small little thing. And I was helped. Now, an old man and my mama confirmed this for me. Told me one day, he said, Devin, he said, what's the definition of insanity? And I told the dude, I was like, man, I don't know. He said, man, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting different results. You're doing the same things over and over again, but you're expecting different results. The same thing over again, but you're expecting different results. That's what insanity means. Now, in prison, everything we do is habitual. We go to the chow hall every day, and that mean get shook down, that mean get shook down, that mean get all your food took out your pockets and your sugars and your own ketchups and mustards and thrown on the ground and told to get to the dorm. Yeah. That what we was getting. Yeah, absolutely. Now, in Cross City, it costs all that and more to help me to understand the definition of seeing what insanity truly is and habitual life doing the same thing every day, the same routine every day, getting up, going to breakfast, going to lunch, count time, every day, every day this went on. Every day this went on. I thought I was going crazy. And man, I woke up one day and something said, Devin, in order for you to change the insanity that's going on around you, you have to change. And in order for me to change, I have to understand what's wrong with me in order for me to change. And there was some things about myself that I didn't think was wrong with me. What's wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I don't mess with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't stab nobody. You feel me? I'm good. I'm laid back. I'm chill, man. Yeah. I know how to respect and mind my business. Absolutely. Especially in the chain gang. Absolutely. But what was wrong with me? Why did I need to change? And if I wanted everything in my life to be different and change, I had to change. And let me tell you something. It was the hardest thing that I ever attempted to do and try, was to actually do what I don't want to do. In prison at that. I'm already in prison. Why make it more hard? You know, you got sergeants walking by and telling you where to get and where to go every night. You got dudes breaking into people's houses. Every night you get, you know, sex offenders, not sex offenders, get beat down every day. You know, the black epidemic was still going, especially across the city. The black epidemic was so off the chain that you had officers running this way, that way, this way. I mean, people was dying. I mean, it was like chaos around them. Yeah, it was off the chain. And, you know, from my mind, looking at all this stuff, I'm like, Lord, have mercy. Well, what can I run from this hell? See, it's a lot of dudes in prison right now with life sentences that feel the same way I do. But we put ourselves down. We wonder why we dealing with what we dealing with. You know, it's because, you know, we put ourselves in these situations. How are we going to get ourselves out? By changing and seeing what changed for us. Yeah. Yeah, JD on that. Absolutely. Because y'all want to know why I'm free. And why I'm a redemption king. Why I came out of prison, and I only been out 3 months, to share with my young brothers and sisters and anybody else that want to listen and learn, you know, what faith look like, what miracles look like, what redeeming what's yours look like. That's what we gonna get at on here. Yeah. We're redeeming this thing. Redemption Kings. Listen, comment, like, subscribe for the kid. Peace out.